Howdy, y'all. This is Protodead, and I'm coming back at you with another one of my podcasts. Today, we've got Cloudy Emerald. Hey, I appreciate you being on the podcast, and just to remind everybody, this podcast is mainly about multimedia stuff, and this is going to be the music that we're into, the movies that we're into, maybe books, and probably a strong focus on video games and stuff. I'm a variety sort of YouTuber for video games, and I really like music and stuff, and I know that Cloudy Emerald is too. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, and I love to talk about books.
You love to talk about books.
Fuck no.
No, yeah,
What? Books?
reading's for sissies.
Ah, from the smart folk. I don't read.
Yeah,
We talk about whatever you want. What's up, man? How's it going?
everything's great. I'm feeling great, man. Forgive any noise that you may hear in the background of either one of our mics. We do have sweet, loving families, and they enjoy multimedia stuff too. So if you do hear any noise in the background, just keep in mind that we're not full-time streamer people with a custom room studio setup. So forgive us for that. But how am I feeling? I'm feeling great, man. Better than I ever have in my entire life. How about you?
Hello, Mike. It's solid. This coffee's pretty good. But I know I'm going to get coffee later, which is like really exciting me.
What do you mean?
I'm going to go to, oh my lord, what's that place called?
Starbucks.
The other one. It starts with an S. Scooters. Scooter
Pantera
Pooters.
bread. No, don't tell me. Hold on. Let me guess. Sam's Club.
Almost. You're close.
Okay. Walgreens.
They're like just popping up. I don't know if
Oh,
they're from a different state or not. You might not have it on your side of town.
no. No, I live in the weeds. So scooters?
Yes. Scooter Pooters.
That sounds made up.
It does.
That sounds like you
But
just made that up.
it's actually not too bad. It's like it's a drive-through only type of place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like kind of small and you just get up, drive through. I mean, the coffee's pretty solid. But then they had to usually have like a coffee of the month, which are pretty good.
Okay. Coffee of the month. Like, how many different kinds of coffee can there really be? Because I feel like it's just dirty water that's supposed to give you anxiety.
Oh, dude. I mean, you look at any coffee section, there's thousands of coffee. So, who is it? Collective Soul has their own coffee, and they were on one of those rock and roll shows, and they're saying coffee beans are the second most imported commodity after oil.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot. I don't know if I believe that, but we do. I think in developed countries, I think we suck down a lot of coffee because we're indoctrinated to believe that it's going to give us the energy that we lack. Yeah.
I think it's any country, dude. You go to any country, it's like coffee's like the thing. And you go to any store, it's weird if they don't offer coffee. And it's like everybody has coffee. So Collective Soul has their own coffee, Kiss, all these different bands. Bob Marley's son, he owns like his own coffee place, like in Africa. Apparently, it's like one of those like fair trade. He pays good wages to like African people, and he has his own coffee that's really good.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Like coffee is everywhere. It's huge if you think about it. I mean, think about
Yeah.
Starbucks and all the stupid coffee places out there.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely do drink a lot of coffee as human beings. I just, I guess I didn't really put it in perspective as thinking, instead of just water, people drink a lot of coffee, and then tea probably follows right up. They're probably coffee and tea is paced neck and neck in probably every country out there. I just didn't think. I thought that was mainly just a American and British and French and shit type of thing.
And I think a lot of the beans comes from those like foreign type countries where we go and steal the land and stuff and rape all the people. But yeah,
Mm.
different coffees. There's a bunch. I mean, there's like hazelnut. There's like cinnamon. There's like people come up with crazy shit. I don't know what they do to make it taste different. Probably just adding a bunch of chemicals and stuff. And just like here, hopefully you buy this. But
Uh,
that's what I
adding
do.
a bunch of chemicals. Yeah, I don't know, man. Natural flavoring and stuff like that, I'm sure, but I can't imagine. I can't imagine that they're specifically like, let's put some of this cyanide in this coffee and see if it tastes better.
And they do that to the air. Who knows?
Yeah, they put it in there with the same dosage that they put the fluoride in your drinking water.
There we go.
Yeah, what do you think about fluoride in the drinking water?
I don't know if you listen to Alex Jones, just to dump down all the poor people and brown people, but
Yeah,
who knows?
I don't know, man. Alex Jones is fucking quacky. I mean, he's built a career over being eccentric and crazy and like conspiracy theorist, but it's weird how like sometimes he's been really right about stuff.
I mean, if anybody, because I know I've heard some people even at work be like, "Man, if I ever seen that dude, I'll punch him in his fucking face." Blah, blah. I mean, people fucking hate this dude. But I've
Yeah.
watched all of his like things on Joe Rogan, and he's even
Yeah.
done some on like Flagrant 2, which is like Andrew Salt's guy that's been on Joe Rogan a bunch too. And
Ooh,
I don't know,
yeah, no.
he's pretty entertaining. Slash some of the shit you kind of think like, well, but I'm not gonna sit there and start like posting on like social media like you got to listen to this guy. He's the real truth. But some of the shit is pretty interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Yes, I agree. Hmm.
But
Yeah,
he does
fluoride.
do one of those things, sorry, that it's like, hey, this happened in the past, this happened in the past. That's why you should believe that this is happening now. And I don't know if that's
Yeah.
like a fallacy or not, but I don't know.
No, I think that way of thinking can be a fallacy, but one of the things that I've realized in my young adulthood is that human beings on the individual level have pretty short ass fucking memories, and it's disgusting, especially coming from a person who time and time again I have proven that I have an extraordinarily good memory, and it's like it's so frustrating because people just don't remember. It's like the people that are in control, that have the power, that have the money, that basically dictate what we're allowed to do in this free country. It's crazy how much we give away year over year over year because they don't ask for a mile. They every legislation that they pass in the guise of safety, it's taking away another one of the people's freedoms. At the when you boil it down to the brass tacks, it takes away more of our freedoms, and we just give it away. We vote them away, man. And it's like people say, "Oh no, they're not gonna take your freedom away or whatever." But it's like, dude, they've slowly been chipping away at the freedom that we had. We had more freedom 150 years ago than we do now.
Dude,
It's,
uh, exactly what you're talking about, but not
yep,
even voting. I was listening to NPR, right? You
yep,
got me to NPR, by the way. The last couple of years I've been listening to them. And driving home, they're saying in that these college campuses, they're having, discussions about mandating the vaccine. And it's like,
hmm
okay, do we mandate it? Do we not mandate it? How much do we enforce it? And so this lady who's like some professor of college, la la la, was saying, yeah, if you just tell people they're going to be punished or there's going to be restrictions,
yeah,
that'll convince them enough to go get the vaccine. But then if you do add it, and since the whole Pfizer got FDA approved, that gives them more power to be like, hey, you can't come to our college unless you get the vaccine.
right,
And people are, if they're told to, they'll do it. And the NPR lady's like, yeah, that's great. And then people will be more safe. Okay, bye. And it's like, wait, what?
right,
It was just kind of weird backwards type of thinking in my mind to where it's like if you force people to do something that they don't want to do and you force them to take this vaccine, that they'll give it up, right? They'll
yeah,
willingly by themselves give it up from the fear of, being punished or whatever. And then
yeah.
they're like, yeah, that's great news. Okay.
Yeah, it's like this weird psychological trick that we the people are tricked into. It's like the fear of something negative happening is more strong than the likelihood of anything actually negatively impacting our lives. It's like we can't weigh the actual validity of a fear. We can't weigh it against the probability of it occurring. So fear controls the people. The on the whole, people are like, I'm afraid of this possibly maybe happening sometime in the future, possibly. So I'm going to try to make changes now, or I'm gonna vote a certain way or whatever. Because they don't sit there and wait. Like they think all the shit that I just changed in my life is not justifiable to the fear, the irrational fear that somebody's convinced you to have.
I didn't really think about that, but and I'm not anti-vax or anything. Like I'll probably get the vaccine because you need it to go travel and
Okay.
shit.
Yeah.
So I'll most likely get it. I just hate this whole like I was reading this article that Delta, the plane company or whatever,
Yeah.
is like super strict with the vaccine. They're like, you have to get it to work here, and if you don't, we're going to charge you $200 a month as a vaccine surcharge. And they do all this like math and number game to where it's like every person who goes to the hospital costs like $50,000 to the healthcare system if you're unvaccinated. So to make up that money, we're going to charge you $200 a month if you choose to be unvaccinated to recoup those losses.
That is so strange, man.
It's very strange. But then there's the other side to it too, to where it's like, well, hey, people already do that for smokers. Like you get a discount if you don't smoke, quote unquote, because smokers, have an X amount of where they weigh down the healthcare system or whatever too.
Sure, because they have more ailments later on, and it's more of a risk. Those people are bound. People who smoke cigarettes, yes, are bound to get sick in ways that people that don't smoke don't get sick.
Well, I guess they have a point, but that's just so crazy. And again, most of these articles that you read, they're kind of tailored to, oh, well, this is a good thing because it makes you more competitive, and if you want to like make sure that people who work for you feel safe, then you have to charge all these people or fire all these people who don't have the vaccine.
Dude, that sounds really fucking bizarre because the COVID-19 sickness. I'm not a big conspiracy believer. I don't like people say that it's not real. I think it is real, obviously, and it does affect some people, and it affects some people severely. But the fear that it's going to affect you and yours in a super negative way, I believe, is blown out of proportion. It's people are afraid that something bad's going to happen, and I just don't understand who's benefiting from all this fear. Obviously, every person that charges you money because of the COVID-19 virus in any sort of way, they have benefited from the fear. That's what I'm looking at. That being said, I have been sick from COVID-19, and I didn't have any problem myself. And I've got a lot of
Morbidities.
comorbidities. Sure, I've got super bad asthma. I have to take asthma medication every day,
Really?
or else I will die. I
Oh,
am
shit.
super fucking obese because I'm a big fat bastard, and that's too bad too. But I was just fine. My kids, my wife didn't get it from me apparently. I mean, even though we live in the same household, they didn't catch it, or if they did, they showed absolutely zero symptoms. And I know that there's people out there that's been incredibly ill from it and have died. But what I'm trying to say is I have also got the vaccine. I've got one of the vaccines. It's the M1. What is it, Moderna?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got the Moderna vaccine, and I got sick from it. Like, I got sick, like, with the flu from the shot, but no big deal. I got over it, and I went back to work, and everything's fine. But it's like, I don't believe that everybody needs to get the fucking vaccine now. Like, that is just a ridiculous thought. I don't believe it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, and again, I'm like you. I'm not like I'll listen to what are they called? Oh my lord, you just said the word to conspiracy theories. I'll listen and I'll be entertained by them, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to believe fucking anything
Yeah.
just because I'm Dumbo. So I'm not even going to believe the other
Well,
side either. But I will say that again, I watched too much Joe Rogan, and he had a couple of doctors on, well, a doctor on, and he's saying that the reason why you get long COVID or the Moderna or the Pfizer shot makes you sick is because the whole spike proteins and blah blah blah, and that's the only thing that's making me like super hesitant to get the vaccine because I feel like the spike proteins or whatever that destroy your cells that make your brain foggy and make you have all these like long COVID symptoms. It's like, man, I don't want to deal with that. But then they're like, oh, hey, go take Ivermectin and it's supposed to help you. And then you see all the news and everything that's blowing up now because Joe Rogan got COVID. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like the most taboo thing now is this fucking ivermectin stuff.
Mm, yeah, man. I hadn't heard of ivermectin until Joe Rogan got sick from
Same.
COVID and said he took it.
Oh yeah, it's like apparently because if you watch this podcast, it's super informative. And I mean, if you believe this doctor, he says he has multiple COVID patients and he prescribes it. So this thing was made in like the 1960s, a long
Hmm.
ass time ago, and it cures a multiple range of diseases, a lot of
Mm,
like river diseases. So when people say deworming, so I guess these people in these countries are like drinking from the river and getting really sick.
yeah.
You give them ivermectin, it's like a miracle drug. And apparently, the reason why the FDA did the vaccines, like the emergency use, is
Hmm.
because there's no one thing that could cure COVID. Well,
Okay.
apparently, they're saying that ivermectin can cure COVID, or at least lessen the symptoms, and even lessens the chance that you even get it and get ill from it in the first place.
Huh.
But they specifically said no, ivermectin's bad, it's not good, and people think they lied about it, so they could then push the vaccine through the emergency use. And so now everyone is holding Joe Rogan up like he's the devil, saying he's taking this heartworm medication to this horse. And it's pretty funny how the machine is working against him. Like I read like 50 articles that say, "Oh, heartwarming. This is for horses. This is not for people. This is made for animals." And it's all bullshit, dude. They're all holding him up and making him an example, Joe Rogan, because he dissented from like, "Hey, maybe these vaccines aren't a good idea, or maybe there's other things. Maybe you could work out and take vitamin D. Maybe you could
Sure.
do A, B, and C." And he's had like all these doctors on that's telling him all these different things. And it's not
Yep.
that it's good or bad, it's that it's different. That you're not toting the party line or whatever. You're not like a fucking mouthpiece for whoever out there saying that you have to do A, B, and C. And it's so funny how the machine's like working to shit on him and like basically make all this shit up. I mean, if you watch this like CNN interview, it's so just fake, man. I hate to be the whole fake news guy, but it just
Yeah.
seems like a goddamn clown show. Like I watch Joe Rogan all the time, so maybe I'm biased, but half
Uh-huh.
the shit they say just made no fucking sense.
Yeah, man, I believe it. It's not as simple as there's a pandemic sweeping the entire globe, and it's super dangerous and super contagious. It's not that simple. I mean, it's not that. It's a complex systems of people trying to figure out how to control other people. I mean, I don't know what I don't follow it close enough. I wish I had more to say about it. But I do like Joe Rogan. I think he is. I think Joe Rogan is to males as Oprah is to females.
The only thing I don't like about Joe Rogan that he's, and this might just me because I'm old school, that he uses a bunch of testosterone and apparently uses like a lot of steroids, and like he really just doesn't give a shit about it. But I don't know. That
You
might
don't
just
like
because I'm
steroids?
old school. No, I guess not, because it's like smoking's bad, weed is bad, steroids is bad. Like that's what you're told as a kid. And I don't
Yeah.
know anything about steroids, but it seems like there's like this culture now online
Yeah.
of TikTokers and social media people that do like, oh, this is my year transformation, and it's like they go from a guy who's like skinny to the guy who's like fucking buff as shit, and it's like, okay, is this guy on steroids or not? And it seems like they are. And I don't know.
Huh.
It just seems like I know Joe Rogan likes to think more favorably about like mushrooms and weed and things like that, but it almost seems like steroids are kind of creeping into that gray area of is this actually bad or not? Like, should we be taking this? Testosterone's natural. I don't know.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't have a lot of opinions about testosterone. I believe that anything in excess is probably a bad thing, and I don't believe that even a tiny amount of something that's super bad is going to be super bad for you, unless it's like cyanide or fucking nerve gas or mustard gas or some shit like that. But anything within reason, like having a bowl of ice cream once a month is obviously not a bad thing, but eating 10 bowls of ice cream every fucking day is probably pretty bad for you. So if you take that same rationale, and if you're a sane individual who's well balanced and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure taking a little bit of growth hormone or a little bit of male testosterone is probably going to be just fine with your system. The human body, the human male body and female bodies too, produce the hormone testosterone naturally in your body. It's something that's in you, just like DMT. There's DMT that's made in a gland in your brain, or some part of your cranium. And DMT is a naturally produced chemical that happens in nature, and almost every single organism has a little bit of it in there. But if you take a super heroic dose of DMT externally, you're probably going to have quite a bit different reaction, biochemically, than if you just take a little bit. Your body secretes it naturally in your system. Like, that's part of the reason why you have dreams, is because there's DMT that's being released while you're asleep.
Would you
So
do a DMT trip?
yeah, I would. If I wouldn't get fucking fired forever for it, I would. Yeah. Um,
Well, I guess would it show up on drug test?
well, how the hell do I know? They don't talk to us about what shows up and what doesn't. Um, Yeah, I'm not going to try to get in trouble here with what I'm saying. I don't want to get mixed up. But no, I think having mm, I think having mind elevating hallucinogenic experiences can be extremely healthy for people's psyche and their spirit, and I believe, like Joe Rogan talks about it quite a bit, and I don't believe his misleading the audience because he's trying to justify how he likes to get high. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that. I believe there's something there. Jordan Peterson has talked about it, and he's a straight-laced guy. He doesn't do any drugs. He doesn't drink any alcohol, but he talks about the benefits that some people can have in a safe environment when they indulge in a spiritual transformation by taking psychedelics. I believe that's probably important for everybody
Hmm.
to experience, I believe. But in this world right now in America, it's illegal. So therefore, the majority of people are brainwashed into thinking that it's evil. I don't believe that it's evil. Um, what was I trying to say? I was trying to say something about. Oh well, I'm past it now. Yeah. So hey,
Hmm.
have you ever done any? Would you ever do any psychedelics?
Man, see the I'm definitely brainwashed into thinking it's evil.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of things it's like hard to get away from that brainwash.
Yeah.
So I want to say yes because it sounds trippy
Mm.
and it sounds cool. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people who talk about it usually talk favorably. But
Okay.
then I don't know. I feel like I'm the one guy who'll get like super addicted or have like a crazy bad trip or like my
Okay.
brain will be spoiled forever. Like my palms will turn hairy. All that
Oh.
shit. Like I feel like I'm that one guy. Obviously, probably
Oh.
not, but
Shit.
so that's the only reason why I stay away from anything too hardcore.
Hardcore. So you drink like some beer and some wine and stuff like that. That's because those things are legal,
Yeah.
right? See, that's another part of our social engineering or social brainwashing or whatever. Um, because alcohol can be super super fucking bad for you, and it causes a lot of problems in a lot of Americans' lives, especially people who have chemical imbalances that can't self-regulate, that weren't raised the right way, that have trauma in their past that they're trying to escape.
Hmm.
They drink too much alcohol, maybe. Whereas maybe some psychological um, study or evaluation can reveal that maybe some experimentation with microdosing LSD or something similar to that could maybe cure or help them heal from what trauma they actually suffer from, and then they won't need to drink it, feel like they have the desire to drink the alcohol that they're addicted to. Um, there's been some, I think Joe Rogan's talked about it before when he said that
Hmm.
there's been some psychologists that prescribe mushrooms to people to help them quit smoking cigarettes, and it works. because it helps you rewire your neural synapses in your brain, and you can break bad habits that way. Because once these channels are created in your brain and these bad habits are sewed into your mind garden or whatever, your pathways, it's harder to break those things. And every time you go on a spiritual journey that is a psychedelic trip, your brain, your neural network is able to rewire itself in a new way. Have you ever heard of that?
Kind of, because I know Joe Rogan had that one guy that was like, he takes microdoses of LSD every day of his life.
Yeah,
I forgot who it was. And I want to say I watched a clip or two. But yeah, again, like, man, for me personally, like, I really don't care what anybody else does. But for me, if I had these problems, maybe I would be like, hey, I'll try anything. But
sure.
I don't know. I don't. Like, I could drink or I could not drink. It's not that big a deal. I could smoke or I could not smoke. It's
Yep.
whatever. I mean, the only biggest thing is like caffeine and sugar, which, some people are like, hey, that's even worse than crack cocaine, don't the sugar crave or whatever. But like I
Yeah.
said, society doesn't see that as a problem necessarily, or you're not ruining your family because you eat like fucking cake.
Right.
So it's not that big a deal. So I'll probably always eat a shit ton of sugar throughout my life and drink a bunch of caffeine, and no one's gonna look at me sideways.
And yeah, and you can go outside and smoke a whole bunch of cigarettes and it's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
yeah, it's just one of those things, man. I don't know. But as far as like doing LSD or mushrooms or maybe even like the whatever we was talking about before,
DMT.
DMT. Yeah,
Yep.
I probably it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm probably never gonna experience that in my life, and it's not gonna make me or break me.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I quit smoking cigarettes a long time ago and I'm never going to go back.
What? I didn't know you quit.
Yeah, I quit smoking cigarettes about 3 years ago.
3 years? What?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been pretty good. I mean,
Are you kidding
m-
me?
no,
How
no,
did
I
I
used to,
not know that?
I don't know, because you don't smoke.
I mean, I used to see you out in the smoke shop all the time. I guess
Yeah,
I didn't think it's been that long.
yeah, it's been about three, maybe a little bit longer, but I haven't really been keeping count. But yeah, it's been about 3 years since I've smoked my last cigarette.
Well, that's fucking awesome, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah, I guess so. My asthma actually started acting up a whole lot worse after I quit smoking cigarettes, oddly enough.
Yeah, that's what they say, right? Is like when you stop smoking, that's when all your cells like regenerate, and that's when you like get the worst chance of cancer because they're regenerating and then they mutate or some BS. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but my fucking breathing went to shit after
Really?
I quit. Yeah, it was um, I thought about it a few months back, and it was like when I was smoking cigarettes, it was like my lungs were getting the exercise that my body, I wasn't giving my body at all. Like at least they were going through some sort of struggle, so they were like my lungs were like overcoming, like Rocky or whatever. And then when I quit smoking cigarettes, like Rocky punching the meat in the fucking slaughterhouse,
I
and
give you
like
the image of your lungs like I'm
just
overcoming like Rocky.
yeah, right. And they're fucking like Adrian in there, and then I quit smoking cigarettes and I don't work out, so
Oh
it's like
shit.
they just start withering and dying because they don't have anything to strengthen against. Shit.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
it's like, what's the fucking point then? We might as well go back to smoking.
yeah, I don't know. I think I probably do need to start working out, but not today.
Not today is a day. It's not a day of the week, Proto.
Yeah, it is. This is a day of rest today. What is today? Saturday?
Sunday,
Yeah, it's time to
the
keep
Lord's Day.
yeah, it's time to keep the Sabbath day holy, buddy.
That's what I would tell my in-laws when they'd like bitch at me when I
Uh,
when I was like a young parent, quote unquote. It's like, why aren't
yeah.
you cleaning? Why aren't you? It's like, this is the Lord's Day. It's a rest
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, this is a day of
Okay,
rest and relaxation.
I could say God all day long if I wanted
Mm.
to, and I could not clean.
Yeah, it's
And they
because
get
it's
like so
God.
mad at me.
Mm. That's funny. Shit. Okay. Well, what else, man? Hey, I got a question for you. How's the video editing stuff going?
Going pretty swell, you know. I got, I mean, I can cut up a video pretty quick now. I can upload it. I can get it on YouTube, and it's rocking and rolling. And now it's just like I think I've kind of hit a wall with my family, to where like getting them to record is like kind of a headache. So I like the recording with you. I want to start recording again with Indian Wolfman
Yeah,
and even
you should.
Mimi and like other people. These are people from my channel if nobody knows. So if you check out my channel, you might see their names a lot.
Links down below.
Links
Yeah,
down
sure.
below. Keep it cloudy. Sub. But yeah. So I definitely want to do all that more. I'm kind of like I was telling you the other day. It's like I got one video to edit, and I recorded another podcast I think yesterday or 2 days ago.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely need to get into the lab and start creating a backlog again.
Y- Yeah, yeah. I've got a tremendous backlog myself, and it can be overwhelming sometimes. So good luck with that. What's the? Can you give us a sneak peek as to who the podcast is going to be with?
It's with my daughters. It's my girls.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Cool deal, man.
Very cool. I liked it. It was fun.
Hell yeah, yeah. So you've learned and grown a little bit on the video editing side, and you've developed some procedures in your method, and you've been able to tighten up the length it takes for you to edit, huh?
Yeah, yeah, because at first it was like, okay, what do I do? And I was messing with
What do I
audio.
click on?
That
Yeah,
was the biggest thing, is messing with
yeah,
the audio, the levels, and getting the mic and getting the way I record the video has helped a lot. Because now I don't even have to mess with the audio. Like even if there's like a little bit of a spike, sometimes I'll let it go.
yeah.
Sometimes I'll fix it up. But I mean, yeah, it's helped a bunch because video it's not really that complicated because I don't do a lot with video,
Hmm.
especially linking up the video and the audio, which I think kind of trips up a lot of people. It's like if you're talking, like if I record my face because I don't, and
Yep.
then the audio is off, like that could be a bitch to like edit.
It is. You're absolutely right. It is, and you haven't had to experience that.
No, not at all. And even if I did, even if it was that bad, I might just keep it going because I don't actually record my face or anything. And a lot of times I'm not really recording a video because I just did a gameplay with my son, and that audio and video kind of linked up perfectly. It never got off track, and it's because I'm not doing like any type of crazy different audio tracks and video tracks and things like that.
Ricky the
It's
Rat.
all, yeah, Ricky the Rat. It's all one video linked together.
Yeah.
So I really don't have that much audio issues any longer.
Yeah. I had major problems when I was recording straight to my hard disk drive. And I mentioned this in the video that I published yesterday where I detailed with all those different steps that I go through, usually my every struggle with every video that I edit. But I was having major problems when I would go back and review a video. The audio would be off by like half a second from the visuals. And it has something to do with trying to record probably, 1080p at 60 frames a second. At the time I was recording that to the hard disk drive. It just couldn't spool up and record. It couldn't get it down fast enough. So there'd be some sort of inconsistency in the recording. But since I switched to recording straight to a solid state drive, I've had zero issues with that being out of sync. But I still have to sync up
Really?
my mic. Yeah, recording to the solid state drive has been like fucking chef's kiss. Um, but I still have to link up my microphone track because I record that on a separate track. So that way I can wipe it out if I said something stupid or if there's background noise, I can eradicate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. And like that was my biggest fear going into editing because I've seen like a couple of YouTubers, they go like, here's my edit and here's how to edit. And that's
And it's
always
just
like the biggest one is like the audio. And that's why they do the clapping, I
yeah,
guess. And even
yeah,
then, even them explaining like, oh, so once you clap, then you could do this and that. And that, I was like, oh my lord, that's too much bullshit.
Well, that way you can see the waveform and sync it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't clap myself, but I probably should clap. But the thing I look for is I look at the waveform, but I look at the waveforms, but I also look at how long do I take to respond to somebody else that's speaking in a multiplayer video game. So like I'm not responding as they're asking the question, and I make sure that it's spaced out just a little bit, so that way the viewer understands that they have enough time to process what the conversation is. Because sometimes I'll answer somebody as they're asking a question, and I'm like, that muddies what they said because I don't hear my voice so much in the headset, right?
Yeah.
So I'll actually cut that and move my response back a little bit in the timeline. That way there's just a small beat, so the person listening can get the full question and get the full answer. So it's less about sync. Yeah, I mean, and also the export shit too. I mean, if you export it as a WAV file, it's like 5 frames longer than if you export it as an MP3, like the audio. So, and sometimes on my cell phone too, when I record, it's got a variable frame rate on it. So it's not a locked frame rate. So whenever I import it into the video editor, maybe the project is 30 frames a second, or maybe it's 60 frames. But then it's got to extrapolate that video, and it's got to interpret what the frame rate is, and then it stretches the audio to match. And even though the audio sounds fine, it's actually stretched the visuals to fit it into the project, and the audio visual goes out of that video on my phone, from my phone. Like I've struggled with that so fucking bad, and I found a setting on my phone specifically to lock the frame rate to 30. So I don't have that problem so much anymore when I record from my phone, but used to, it was a fucking nightmare.
Jesus. Yeah, you could get in the weeds with all that junk.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know, but yeah, like I said, I'm mainly doing podcasts, and I did that one video game thing just because my son was like super into this Roblox game. So I was like, okay, I'll record it. I'll see how it is. And it was funny because I'm in my room, my bedroom, with my door shut. I have my mic, my headset. I'm on Discord, and I'm calling my wife's phone, which is in my son's room with his door shut, and he's on his little laptop. So he has my wife's phone next to him on speaker talking to me, him playing on his laptop on Roblox, and I'm on Roblox like on my PC, and like we were talking. He's like, okay, I'll come right over. I'll come right over. I was like, okay, cool. And I thought he was saying I'm coming over in the game. But he gets up from his chair, comes into the room, and is like, do you need help? I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
no, get your ass, sit back down. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
that type of action right there is going to be super confusing for the audience that may be listening, because they won't understand what's going on.
And it was super fun just recording because he was like running in and out of my room, running back to his room, and it's a scary game on Roblox. It's like a horror game, and so
Yeah.
I turned all his lights off. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Hey man, you got to be immersed, okay? We got to do this." And I had all my
Yeah.
lights off in my room, and I don't know. It was just a fun time. And part two hopefully should be coming out soon once I edit
Cool.
it.
Well, good. That's great. So my son talks about Friday Night Funkin'. You ever play that one on Roblox?
No,
Yeah, I don't know. I'll ask him about Ricky the Rat. We'll see how it goes.
yeah, he was real into Piggy at one point. I'm surprised we haven't played that. And then
Oh,
Grandma's House, there's like this, I don't know if it's called Grandma's House, but that was like a big one on
scary one.
Roblox. Yeah. Yeah. But it's like kind of geared more towards like little kids slash
Hmm.
scary, which is Roblox anyways. But
Okay. Yeah, Roblox apparently is a pretty big deal. It's just it's it's free to play, but you can buy a bunch of stuff on it.
yeah, it's insane because my son, like for the last year, he's asked for like gift cards. So my in-laws would get him a $25 gift card, and he could literally go through that in one day. Because it would be like 2 days later, I'm like, hey, so you still got like limited lives? Or I was like, oh no, that's gone. I was like, what? So you already spent that $25? It's like, yeah, it's gone. I spent it like the first day. I'm like, oh my god, that's just that's too much.
Man, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, we got our kids' bank accounts, so we just do an online transfer, bank account money transfer for a little bit of spending money, or maybe they do some stuff around the house, some chore money or whatever. And as soon as my son gets any money whatsoever in his account, he's got a debit card and he's got a wallet and stuff like that. 14 and 12 years old. As soon as he gets any money, the 12-year-old fucking spends it on Roblox, like immediately. It's gone. He's got 18 cents in his account right now.
Jesus, man, that's just.
He is addicted.
And you think like, oh man, hopefully he's not like looking up naughty stuff or getting viruses or no, I guess nowadays it's all about spending the money like
Yeah,
online, just dumping it into these like free to play stuff.
yeah, that is really disgusting. I understand that it's a lot of fun and he really enjoys it. I get that. And I get that he's just mature enough to understand what it means to have money and spend it, but not mature enough to plan for the future and save it and try to get something else.
Which I get, but that's why it's a rule for me. It's like I'm not spending money on any video game, even for like DLCs or extra downloads, skins. I'm not doing any of that junk.
Especially not for EOD on Escape from Tarkov.
EOD, exactly. I'm not doing any Game Pass. All that stuff I think is just
you're not gonna buy the big package where you got a gamma case or nothing like that.
no, sir. That's what my brother does too. He's like, oh yeah, so I just got the Game Pass. Did you get it? He asks me this like every time for every game. I'm like, no. I don't know how much these game. Look how much these Game Pass cost. It's like $50, $20, $30. It's not free, and it's not like $5. And it's a total ripoff. And I don't. I mean, it's like the only reason why these games are going to have these Game Passes, or they're going to come out with a game that's like 20% of an actual game, and then you have to buy the rest of the content later. It's because people spend the money on it. I mean, people will willingly spend 20, 30, 40, $50 to actually get a full game.
Yeah, on top of the price, the $60 buy-in price, or it's $70 now for the AAA games.
Exactly.
They do that because they get the promise that any further possible that you don't even know about yet, that they may come out with DLC stuff, you'll get it for free. You pay it up front.
And I guess it's like, oh hey, you're investing in this company in the future, blah blah blah. But it's like, then why give me a 20% game for $60?
Yeah, dude, it's we could really get deep into the monetary systems that these video game companies have set up over the years. Because used to, when you bought a video game, you bought a completed project that was damn near bug free. It was as the artist intended it to be, and it had all of the details that the game was ever going to have. It was already baked in, and you bought the one thing one time, and that was it. Since we've got the internet and they can do day one patches that are like 10 gigabytes or whatever, they don't even have to ship you a bug-free completed fucking game. And then they start planning the DLC monetization stuff at the inception of the game when it's being developed. They plan for microtransactions to be embedded in the framework of the video game. It's really disgusting.
And that's why, like, to keep my frustrations low, that's the rule. I'm not going to spend any extra money on anything. So if I hear a game is like the what was it, that Star Wars Battlefront game?
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy with that.
Like if I hear a sniff of that, it's like, oh, I guess I'm not getting that game. And I won't lose any sleep, but I'm also not going to get frustrated because I just bought a $60 game that's pay to play.
Yeah, pay to play and then pay to win and then pay to whatever. I mean, like, if I want to say that they said it was something ludicrous, like you had to spend like 100 or 200 in-game hours farming for the secret currency or the special currency, whatever they were, fucking gold doubloons or whatever, to unlock Darth Vader. But you could buy Darth Vader for $4.99.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that. And then I think it's only like a one-use thing, right?
No, I think you got the character unlocked for the whole time. I don't know. I didn't play Battlefront.
I want to say Donkey did a video, and in his video, he played as Darth Vader. It's like, oh, because like within a match, and this is, no one gives a shit about this now. This is like 4 years ago. But within a match, you have to like wait to that trigger point, and then you could become Darth Vader, but most of the time it's like in game anyways, and you have like 2 minutes, and then boom, the match is over, and it's like, oh, I just wasted my time.
Wow, that sounds pretty worthless. But I mean, the next match you can like activate him or something, right?
Mm-mm. I
No?
think that's just how it is. I mean, that's how he kind of set everything up, but I'm not sure if he was just kind of going overboard with it. But he was seriously like, okay, if you make it to this point of the game or the point of the match, and you're the one of the guys that actually could get this like symbol or whatever, and you become Darth Vader, then it's usually you either die right away because people just focus on you, or the
Mm-hmm.
match is over.
Mm.
But I don't know. Like I said, it was a game that was like 4 years old, and I think they learned the lesson. I don't know. Some of these developers seem so Dumbo that they never learn the lessons. It's kind of like what you were saying. It's like the memory's so short that they could just come out with another game and be like, oh, well, this is like not pay to play, but then you could buy this and that, and people will go out and buy it anyways.
Yeah, yeah, people's memories are super fucking short, man. It's uh
Not mine.
yeah, definitely not yours. Um and no, you're class act, man. You always remember to click on my videos and press the like button, which is nice.
Yes, and comment.
Yeah.
If I
Oh
could sub
man.
again, I'd sub again.
I'd sub even harder. Oh yeah.
Ah, shit.
Um yeah, so it's it's funny how I open up with a hey, this podcast is about movies, music, books, and video games and shit, and then we go right into COVID Joe Rogan for fucking 30 minutes.
Yeah, my bad. Like I
No,
know a lot of people
it's
are like
funny.
fucking done with that shit, and I am too. When I hear it, I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna click off, but I'll
Yeah, I
fucking
don't,
talk about it, you know?
yeah, no, I've got some things to say, and I'm not, I don't. My opinions are just opinions. I don't have a whole lot of facts in front of me. I don't study this shit. I've got a life. I got other stuff to do. I work 40 plus hours a week already. So, but yeah, I reserve the right to be wrong and change my opinion later if I'm presented with valid information that makes sense to me. I'm not going to stand by an opinion, an off the cuff opinion that I had about something in the past just because I said it once. There's too many people out there that are real fucking proud of what they've said before, and they will just sink. They will go down with the ship with their fucking stupid ass opinions. So I'm not one of those people.
A lot of radicalized people out there, man. It's silly.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that's indoctrinated, man.
It's
Not
unfortunate.
me. Yeah, not me. I'm institutionalized.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wake up and clock in like a good rat.
I'm looking for a scholarship.
All right,
Ender, goddamn it. Anyways, sorry.
yeah, let's switch gears here a little bit.
Let's do it.
What band, what music do you absolutely hate?
So bands I hate. I
Oh,
hate Five Finger Death Punch.
oh God,
I think the trash.
that was gonna be mine. I wrote mine down.
I
It
knew it
was
was
gonna
gonna be. I think I heard you say something on the Discord. It is fucking trash. I mean, oh my god. The only thing I
fuck.
know about him is that the dude like beats the shit out of his wife constantly.
What?
Yeah, there's like I read a bunch of articles about him going to jail like 3 or 4 times for like just beating the shit out of his wife.
Oh my gosh, I have never heard that, but how terrible.
Even though like I listen to Michael Jackson and he like may or may not have raped like a bunch of kids, like I'll still
Y-
listen to him.
yeah,
But Five Finger Death Punch is shit.
they are fucking terrible. Really, really bad. Oh gosh. Yeah, I didn't know anything about the whole beating the wife thing. I've never heard that. It frankly surprises me because I thought the guy was a little girly, to be honest.
The lead singer?
Yeah.
He looks like a fucking biker dude. Girly?
Yeah, I think he's overcompensating, man. I think he's really
Maybe.
trying too hard.
Maybe that's why he beat
Um,
the shit out of his wife.
maybe he's just trying to keep up an appearance. He's trying to keep a stereotype alive. Yeah, man, Five Fingered Fruit Punch fucking sucks real
Oh
bad.
god.
So my opinion is like the guitar is pretty cool. Like It's pretty good. I can deal with the guitar, and the drums are like punchy and they're pretty cool too, and I like those. And probably the bass is all right, but it's just like everything that has to do with the frontman lead singer guy needs to go. Like it is.
Company. They took like a bad song and made it even worse.
All their covers, man, they are so fucking unoriginal. I hate that shit. Every
Yeah.
fucking cover they come out with makes me sick. I think a lot of the original songs, I think I like a lot of them, but because they decided to cover them, I fucking hate, it makes me hate the original song too, because they're so bad. It's so terrible.
And I think that's like a thing with rock bands like nowadays is that when you come out with a new album, you have to do a cover. And that's like your first single. And that warms everybody up for your actual original shit that's not really that great. That's kind of like a rewash of shit you did before.
Well, well, I think a lot of bands do a lot of covers early on because there's nobody that's going to listen to you in the bar or in the small gig always playing your own music. So I think a lot of bands have to do covers to get started anyway in the beginning. I mean,
And
look at
not even talking about in the beginning. I'm talking about like Shinedown does that a lot. When they come out with a new album, the first single is always like a cover. And then they get into their actual song. Then even Pucifer, I think Pucifer did or was it his other band? They did Bohemian Rhapsody. Trash, trash, trash. And then they're like, oh well now here's the single from the actual album. And it's like, what? I don't
uh,
know. Like, why are we doing all this? Like, I love Guns N' Roses covers of their songs, and maybe it's because I wasn't around when they first come out with all those singles.
yeah.
But it's like all these other covers are just trash. Bohemian Rhapsody, fucking Bad Company songs. What's that other one that was like big?
Uh, covers like people do a lot of covers of.
This is like the recent ones. I don't know. I'm blanking on all of them, but it's just I don't know. I don't like any of them. Oh, the Bad Wolves. They did Zombie. I thought that
Oh
was
man,
shit.
it was fucking terrible. It was really bad. And then there people that's like that was really fooled into thinking that that was a good cover of that song, Bad Wolves Zombie, because the woman lady had just died right before from the Cranberries. She had just died right before they published their cover. So that like basically it's like, dude, you're being manipulated with your little heartstrings being tugged. This it's too bad that she died. It's fine that the Cranberries made a lot of really great music in the 90s, and we can appreciate that. But you don't have to turn around and fucking suck the dick of the radio saying that Zombies from Bad Wolves is a good fucking cover, because it's not. It was fucking terrible.
It's pretty bad.
It was
And
bad.
usually they like, oh, let's string out and make these songs even longer and more boring. Oh, that's the one that fucking God, that song from The Offspring. Didn't they do that? Gone Away.
I don't know if you mean Bad Wolves.
I think so. That it was Five Finger Death Punch. I think
I
they covered that song like Gone
It's
Away.
probably Five Finger Death Punch, man. It's like they have done an album's worth of fucking covers. They've done more cover songs than Marilyn Manson has done.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking Metallica, but
Marilyn Manson's done a lot of covers, man.
I guess I didn't realize.
And they're good too. I like all of Marilyn Manson's covers. They're fucking good.
Post
Um,
one of them. I'll check it out.
yeah, I'll post a couple of them in the Discord. I don't know if you like Marilyn Manson a lot, but I like Marilyn Manson quite a bit.
I think he's pretty solid. My buddy liked him a lot. And the
Yeah.
couple of songs he showed me, I'm like, okay, I can dig it. I never was, that was never my scene, I guess.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll post a couple of things to you. Yeah, there's a lot of Marilyn Manson songs that I like, and I actually need to go back and listen to some of the whole albums, because there's a lot of albums I never listened to, like Portrait of an American Family. I never listened to that whole thing, and it opens up with Marilyn Manson's version of the boat ride scene from Willy Wonka. And dude, let me fucking tell you, it is
Whoa.
so good, dude. It is so good. It sounds so great.
That boat ride scene gives me fucking chills. Like I'll watch it
Yeah.
on YouTube every now and then. just to
Yeah,
freak my
so
son out.
yeah, Gene Wilder and his performance and the reaction of the cast inside that boat, it's really really good. But if you just suck all that away and just listen to it, it's good on its own. But then if you listen to Marilyn Manson's version of it, it's like it's an extra layer of turbo creep, like super creepy shit. Like the way he performs it is like it's so chef's kiss.
Sweet.
Yeah, yeah. So that album opens with that, and then it goes right into uh, the song called "Cake and Sodomy," which is there's two of my favorite things. Let me tell you.
my my buddy, this is like my childhood friend, right? I knew him since elementary school.
Yep.
He grew up in like in a super oppressive home,
Oh.
and like his mom was like really controlling. And so I was like a teenager. This is like
Mm.
14, 15, and I haven't seen him in a while. So I went and spent the night at his house, and his mom had a huge pile of CDs that she was like throwing into a pile, like yelling at him, I can't believe you listen to this. This is
Oh.
devil stuff. And he's like super like emotional, like, no, this is my music. And
Oh.
she comes up to me, it's like, look at this, Carly, look at the stuff he's listening to. Hooker with a penis. What does that mean?
Tool.
Um, Anema. I don't even know what this says. And I'm like, my dad has this playing 24/7 in the
Yeah.
car. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is crazy stuff. It was just so funny. Like his life was being thrown away. Meanwhile, my
Oh.
dad's like blasting fucking rage. Fuck you! I
Yeah.
won't do what you tell
Tell me.
me.
Fuck you! I won't do what you tell me.
My dad's like fucking punching the steering wheel, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I love that energy, Dad. Keep it up.
And meanwhile, his mom's like throwing his whole life away. I was like, oh,
This
that's
is.
crazy.
Yeah. Some people are really oppressive and whacked out of their skull, man.
Prison sex? What does that mean? I was like, oh, that's actually
Prison sex.
one of my favorite Tool songs. But okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Prison sex is pretty damn good.
It's really good.
Uh, ugh. So yeah, Five Finger Death Punch sucks ass. I
Avenged
really wish.
Sevenfold sucks.
I don't actually know a lot of the music, but I bet you if you played it, you need to send me post it in the Dumber Than Dog Shit music channel, and I'll listen to some of that stuff later. Um, oh wait, no, hold on. My file system in my brain has just pulled one up from Avenged Sevenfold. They're like kind of angsty, screamy, want to be screamy, but not quite. They're a little whiny. They're still like in the whiny phase of the whiny rock from the 90s.
No, I don't think they're 90s. I want to say they're 2000s. People call them like the Motley Crue of like the 2000s or whatever.
Like they want to be hard, but they're still kind of little crybabies.
It's like the black makeup, the eyeshadow, the earrings, and like the tattoos, the crazy hair, like pitch black dyed hair. Kind of screamy, yeah. But then they have a couple of like softer songs, I guess. But they're
Yeah.
usually like the 5, 6 minute songs of all these crazy guitar and drum solos that make no fucking sense and that sounds like fucking mangled up meat and then
Mm.
screamy vocals on top.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that stuff too much myself. I don't have any Avenged Sevenfold CDs or anything. Um, I blame Foo Fighters for that. Like I've mentioned this before, I think I might be treading on old ground here in the podcast, but I don't like the Foo Fighters.
I love them.
No, that's too bad. I blame Dave Grohl. Like, even though he is an accomplished musician, and I can totally separate his accomplishments and the praise I give him as an artist, and what he was able to do with the first album, which he played all the instruments, he composed all the instruments. He created that whole first album. That's great. But the stuff that he squirted out on the end influenced the rock scene so in such a negative way in the '90s that I can't forgive him for that. Because we went from grunge rock and roll to whiny rock, and that whiny rock era, the Three Doors Down, the fucking like all those other bands that are like that, the whiny crybaby shit. I can't even think of any of the other ones. All those spawned from the fucking Foo Fighters, man.
Yeah, I guess. Grunge definitely is probably like the best era in my opinion. But I don't know. I like a lot of Foo Fighters songs. They do kind of get old like nowadays. Like I think it was from the Something in Gold album on. It's like okay, you're just kind of like it's like the same single. I don't know, but I like the Foo Fighters, and I don't mind some of the songs and some of the. I know you called it like pussy rock or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of that shit I really don't mind, but I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I don't appreciate what it like influenced and spawned and what other people, took away from it, like and it what it generated. It took the rock stuff in a direction that I didn't like, and I don't even believe that rock recovered from it. It became like Foo Fighters was super popular, and it just, I don't know, man. It's like it castrated rock. That's basically the way I'm putting it.
I
It feels
gotcha.
like it feels like it castrated rock, and it went from something that was supposed to be, you know, I don't I don't know what I'm trying to say. I blame the Foo Fighters because before the Foo Fighters it wasn't there. Foo Fighters hit the scene and all these other bands blew up, and it really felt like they were capitalizing on a brand new genre that had just been invented by Dave Grohl.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I put the 100% blame on them, but then what would I put the blame on? I don't know. I can't really think of anything, but I guess I really don't see the whole Dave Grohl Foo Fighters being the reason. And even,
They
I guess they were that popular, but I don't know.
I I think I really believe that they were the genesis of the whiny rock stuff that I don't like.
I've been getting into Genesis a lot lately, and Phil
I know,
Collins.
I noticed that you've been posting Genesis stuff on the Discord, and I've been listening to it. This is gonna piss off Jay Smoothie too, but I'm gonna tell you, I didn't know who Genesis was before you guys posted Genesis stuff.
He likes Genesis too?
Yeah, he's mentioned it in text that he likes Genesis. I know Phil Collins did some music. I know that, what is that song? In the Heat of the Night or something that Phil Collins is famous for?
In the Air Tonight?
That's one. That's the one. I didn't know he was in a band before that called Genesis. I didn't know they existed.
Really? Yeah, I mean, I think they're pretty big, but I've only knew like a couple of songs, but I want to say they had like fucking 20 albums or something stupid like that.
Mm,
Like I think they put a shit ton of music out because it's Phil Collins and it's Robert Palmer, I want to say,
who's that?
right? Uh Not Robert Palmer, is the dude that said Sledgehammer. Is that Robert
Oh
Palmer?
yeah, I
It's
don't
him.
know.
There's like two big musicians that went solo that like dominated the 80s and 90s. So yeah, I mean that was kind of like the super 80s band, like boop boop, like techno, not like techno, but like kind of that
Electronica.
oh electronica. Yeah, they got some good hits, man.
Yeah, we'll keep posting them. I'll keep listening to them. The more I'm exposed to, I've got a serious music problem. I've told you about this before. I I can't like and appreciate music until it grows on me. So I have to listen to it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until I get used to it enough to start to be able to like it and want to listen to it more. So I have to force myself to listen to new stuff. Unlike movies, which is totally different.
Really. Yeah, see, sometimes songs grow on me, but then there's some songs that like catch me, and it's like, whoa, like what is this? What's going on? Like I'm gonna listen to this song like way too much now.
Yeah. Yeah, I got songs like that, that I listen to way too much, like Cake and Sodomy.
Sweet. What kind of cake?
I don't know what it is. I think it doesn't matter at that point. It's Marilyn Manson. It's probably chocolate cake.
I like chocolate better than vanilla.
Better than banana?
Vanilla,
Oh,
baby.
vanilla. Yeah. Uh, cool, man. What computer upgrades have you done lately to your computer?
None. And I probably won't
None.
ever do any.
What? Why
Yeah,
not?
I used to be real big into like looking up stuff and wanting to do upgrades and blah blah blah. I'm just too lazy, man. I'm too cheap. I'm too lazy.
It's good
I
enough.
don't. Yeah, it's good enough. I don't like to mess with stuff or tinker with stuff anymore. I'm more of the if I could just spend a little more money on it and then just get something brand new or something to where I know that works, then I'd rather do that.
Yeah, I continue to find holes in my system. Like I record everything to an SSD right now, but I'm realizing that my SSD is a little bit too small, and I kind of want to get a bigger one. Um, uh, let's see. I think maybe having Bluetooth capability built into my computer will help if I want to try to start using a Bluetooth controller for some of my video gaming. So I've been thinking about doing that. I've also am trying to look into the Elgato thing so
Oh
I can
yeah.
start doing console recording because I can't record console right now very easy at all.
Hey man, it's a holiday weekend. I wonder if a lot of that shit's on sale.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt. I don't have any fucking money, but I do have an Elgato uh, capture card, but I don't know if it comes. I don't know if it's got everything it's supposed to have. But the reason why I got it is because it was a super cheap one that only does 720p. But if I'm trying to do PS3 games or PS3 console, I think that's all it outputted anyway. So
Hmm.
I think I'm not sure, but I still I have it in the box. I just haven't opened it and tried to figure it out yet.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I have now because I went like a month or two ago and I bought a bunch of stuff from Best Buy.
Hmm.
And that was like the first thing I spent like a bunch too much money on for
Yeah.
like a quote unquote upgrade. And so I think I'm solid. I think I'm good for it. All the gaming I want to do right now and all the recording and quality of stuff. This is probably like top tier. This is probably as good as it's going to get for a few years.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, I'm looking at trying to upgrade my computer and try to get it to where maybe if I get a new CPU, maybe I can export videos a little faster, and then with the spare parts left over from that, um, we got a trickle down economy going on where the upgrades on my computer is going to go to my oldest son, and then those components out of his is going to go to my youngest son. And then we're hoping my wife got me a CPU. She found a CPU somewhere and she gave it to me, and I looked it up, and it looks like maybe it's an okay one. So we're thinking about building my wife a computer based around that CPU.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, so then we'd have 4 gaming computers in the house, and I think everybody would be pretty much set.
All you need is for it.
Yeah, that's all we're gonna need because I have a vasectomy. So
Shit, yeah.
hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm doing my part to curb the growth of the human population on this planet.
Yeah, my wife wants me to get one.
Yeah, if you've had all the kids that you feel like you're planning to have, then it's less invasive, it's easier, it's quicker, it's cheaper. The recovery time is faster for you to get yourself taken care of versus forcing your wife to get her womb ripped out or whatever it is they do.
Yeah, I told her if you set it up, I'll get it. But I'm not gonna take the steps to do it just because I'm lazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that like. There's a lot of men out there that think that infringes on their like somehow it's like it makes them less of a man or some shit. It's like, dude, it's not about that. Just fucking make a business decision about it and do the grown up thing and realize that it makes less sense to force your wife through that sort of trauma than it does for you to take care of yourself.
Then I heard you have to jack off 150 times before it works. That's just crazy. It's like, what? It's a full-time
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. Oh man, I wasn't ready for that. Yeah, and see, fortunate for me, I was my wife was she did the duty for me, so I didn't have to.
Well, goddamn, you're lucky. That's a lot
Yeah,
of work.
yeah, she's got tennis elbow now.
Yeah, stretch it out. Oh
Okay.
Lord.
We're coming up on the 1 hour mark. Do you have a crazy story to share? Crazy story from your past. See, last time, let me refresh your memory. You told me a crazy story about how you almost shit your pants.
I don't remember.
You remember that?
Yeah.
You
That
want me to
was
recite it
crazy.
back to you? Yeah, that was crazy. And that's the reason why I don't drink a whole lot of coffee in the morning.
I drink too much.
Because I don't want to shit my pants. You ever had somebody else shit your pants for you?
Never. There's that
Yeah.
joke. Oh man, I don't even
Yeah.
want to tell the joke. Anyways, because I don't know it.
Yeah, who shit my pants? That's funny. Yeah, so you don't have a crazy story? Hey, I got one. So I was in a car crash once upon a time.
Damn.
Yeah, damn. That's it. The end. No, I was, this isn't like the big car crash that like fucked my face all up, but this is just one of the silly car crashes I was involved in. I think I've been in like 6 or 7 car accidents.
Jesus.
And the majority of them are not my fault, by the way. I'm actually a really, really good driver, I guess. But anyway, I had a Ford Ranger. I think it was year 2000. It was black, and I had chrome bumpers, and I had silver mirror tint on the windows. So I mean, it was a black and silver truck. It was pretty slick. It was pretty neat looking. I liked it quite a bit. I mean, it was just fine for me. I had it for, I don't know, man, maybe 8 years or so. I don't remember when my accident was. I bought it in the year 2000. I think maybe 5 years. So I had it from year 2000 to maybe 2005 or something. Then this accident happened. I was on the phone with my soon-to-be wife at the time. I was talking to her on my cell phone, and I was driving from one job to the next job. I was working 2 jobs at the time, and was driving through Edmond, which is the worst fucking place to drive. They have the worst drivers. You ever driven through Edmond?
Barely, not even.
Yeah, don't ever, because you will fucking get into a car accident. It's crazy. It's like all these people are apparently rich enough where they can just afford to have fucking accidents willy-nilly. They don't look, they pull out right in front of you. I mean, it's fucking crazy. Yeah. So it's a meme at this point how bad the drivers are in Edmond. So anyway, I'm sitting here driving from the pet shop where I worked. I worked as a caretaker for all the pets and stuff at this pet shop, and I was going to the movie theater that I worked at in high school, and I was still working there outside of high school. You know, this is several years after high school, still working at the fucking movie theater. Anyway, so I'm driving from one job to the next, and I've got in the passenger seat a cardboard box full of hamsters. Okay, full of hamsters. I was going to take them to this job and just put them like wherever, in the office or, you know, in the popcorn, who knows. I was going to put them someplace at the movie theater, and I was going to keep them until after shift and take them home and feed them all to my snakes, because at the time I had like 20 or 30 snakes in my bedroom. And I had a lot of constrictors, and they were cool for a little while, but I got rid of them eventually. But anyway, that's not the story. So I got this cardboard box full of fucking hamsters, and they're scratching around, you know, and eking and shit in the passenger seat. And I'm on the phone, driving down the road, 40 miles an hour, through the town city thing, and I'm talking to my wife, and just out of nowhere, this dude in a Lexus pulls out right in fucking front of me, and I lock up my brakes and fucking yell as loud as I can, and then boom. You know, just crunch. T-bone the fuck out of this guy in a Lexus.
God.
And I hit him on the driver's side.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so he pulled out driver's side facing the front of my vehicle. And so I T-boned the fuck out of him. Hood crumples up, windshield busts, airbag deploys, and phone flies from hand, right? So I unbuckle, and I can't reach the cell phone, but I know my wife is still on the phone, you know, so I'm yelling at her. I'm like, I've been in a car wreck, you know, and like the horn goes off, you know how like when, so all she can hear on her end is just the horn. All she heard was like, oh shit, and then bang, horn. And so on her end, I got no idea what it's like. she's probably freaking the fuck out, and I'm hoping she can hear me. The driver's side door had crumpled in on my side because just the force of pushing the whole frame back and everything back on the truck, it wrinkled the door so I couldn't just open the door. So I lean over, the box is no longer there. The hamsters have flown into the dash, and the box exploded open. Hamsters are everywhere inside
Oh
this truck.
God.
Yeah, there's like 10 or 12 hamsters fucking scurrying around this freshly wrecked Ford Ranger. And I'm leaning, like laying over into the passenger seat, yelling at the phone and the floorboard in the passenger seat, "I'm okay." And then I'm kicking the fucking door open, the driver's side door, and trying to kick it open so I can get out. So both feet fucking crunch. And this is back when I was fit and I worked out and shit. So I kicked the door. "Everything's okay." Kick the door. "I'll be out of the car in a minute." Kick the door. "I'll call you back whenever I'm done." Kick the door. "The truck's totally fucked." Kick the door. "I'm trying to get out right now." Kick the door. "I'm all right." Kick the door, and then fucking it finally pops open. And then I jump out. There's people slowing down and driving around us because we just blocked up the entire fucking lane, like 2 lanes of traffic with this accident. And I get out and I walk around the side of the Lexus to the passenger side because, T-boned. My truck is now fused with his Lexus, right?
Yes.
They are like one twisted hunk of metal. And I open up the driver's side and look at him, and he's got blood, like he was probably 50 years old, 45, 50. And he had blood streaming down his scalp, and he like confused, like blinks his eyes and looks at me and he says, "I'm sorry." And I was like, fuck, man. So I help him get out of the driver's side. I walk him over to the curb. I take my shirt off. I give it to him. I say, "Hey, put this on your head to stop the bleeding. You need to just sit here and chill. I'm going to direct traffic." Because at the time I was training to be a firefighter, and I had all this EMT, like I had done EMT courses, and I was like trained and like trying to be first responder. I'm going to help people and all this other shit.
Mhm.
So I get to my phone, ask the wife to call, "Please leave work, come get me. In the meantime, I'm going to wait for cops to show up. I'm just going to sit out here and direct traffic." So this guy's got my T-shirt, which is probably like a Pantera shirt,
Yes.
wrapped around his head while trying to stifle the bleeding on the curb while I'm directing traffic in Edmond, waiting for the cops to show up. Yeah, my wife came to the rescue. She wrangled up all the hamsters, and all the snakes got fed that night, and everything turned out okay.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What'd the cops say?
I don't remember. I mean, it was clearly that dude's fault. He totaled my truck. I totaled his Lexus. I think I got some money out of it. Like, I think I went to a chiropractor for a little while. So basically, like, when they send you to a chiropractor after an insurance claim, it's basically just to try to trump up the money they can suck from the other insurance company, because I really wasn't fucked up. I was fit as a fiddle at the time. I went because they told me to go, and they cracked my bones, and I ended up getting, I mean, maybe it was enough. Maybe I got enough money out of it to buy a new vehicle, but it really felt like I just got fucked. Like, the Ford Ranger that I had barely any miles on it. I had bought it with the help of my parents, using the money that I attained from a previous car accident, which I was the passenger of, where my face got fucked up. So I had some money in the bank from that lawsuit, or not lawsuit, it was just a settlement. And so I bought that truck outright. I bought it brand new. Probably a stupid fucking idea at the time. I was still in high school, bought a brand new vehicle with like 350 miles on it, like 350. And that was just the miles that it took for them to drive it to us, because I'd ordered the vehicle. I had it all. I knew exactly what I wanted. And this guy in a Lexus ruined it for me. He completely fucked my cherry picked truck out, and I didn't get the money out of it that I needed, but to replace it. But that was how that went.
That sucks.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening. So do you have a crazy story?
Yeah, I was asking for like a subject or topic or something that can like jar my memory.
Oh gosh. Have you been in a car accident?
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, good.
But oh my gosh, so it's kind of, I don't know if this is funny or not, but this is like a crazy night in my life.
Shoot.
So I worked at this restaurant around your side of town. And it was like a fancy place, and like these five dudes own like six or seven restaurants, and they had like this stupid management style to where it was like the employees were so abused. Like you had to show up and you had to work like a fucking dog. But then on the flip side, they would like pay you like under the table, like, hey, here's $100. Here's $200. Like, just get work like a dog. And so my brother is like, hey, if you need extra money, there's like this birthday party to like one of the big managers that manage all these restaurants for these dudes. Like, it's a private party. You go, you work. It's $100 cash. Like, no questions asked. Just here's $100. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. And I'm like 20. I'm poor. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
like I just got married to this private party. The owner comes up to me, puts $100 in my hand, and like, hey, sure. Basically, the owner of these restaurants were basically I walked in. He's like, you're already behind. You're already working too slow. I'm like,
Mm.
what? He's like, go get these candles. We need them now. I'm like, what the? He's like, run, run, run. I'm like, oh my God. And so I run out into my car. He's calling me on my way to my car. I answer the phone. He's like, you're already behind. I'm like, what the fuck? So it's like these, fancy fuck people that are like super rich, don't give a shit about people. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I'm like driving like fucking crazy, getting these stupid little plastic like electric candles. I'm driving back and he's like, okay, you got it from here. See ya. And he like leaves. I'm like, what the hell? And there's like one cook, one bartender, one server, and like there's this me. I'm just a dude just running around. I'm supposed to like clean up messes, doing this, and I go in the kitchen, and the cook's like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I'm like, "What?" He said, "Grab a fucking beer." I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, "Yeah, grab a beer. If you're not drinking, there's something wrong." So he
Mm.
pops open a beer and he starts drinking, and there's like beer, wine, liquor to the fucking ceiling, food all over the place, like these fancy appetizers. They have these like fancy tater tots,
Hmm.
which are like these tater tots like big as your fucking fist, with like some sriracha mayo or some bullshit, right? And he's like, "Yeah,
Mm.
man, get a beer." So he starts downing beer. The bartender comes in the back. He starts drinking, and it's like this whole culture of like treating your employees like shit, but they can do as many drugs or drink as much as they can on the job. So
Oh.
this party starts going off, and there's like, Blake Griffin, the basketball player,
Yeah.
like his brother shows up or some shit, and people are like flipping out. Everyone's getting drunk, throwing up. They had this ice sculpture in the
Hmm.
shape of a huge cock,
Oh.
balls and all. I mean, this
Oh. Okay.
humongous cock, and it was one of those shot ones where you pour the liquor on the top of
Through
the
the
dick.
through the pee hole.
No, no, you drink through the dick hole. So there's a hole in the dick hole, and you're supposed to bend over, put your mouth on the dick hole, and someone pours a shot for you,
Okay.
and it's and so for like 2 hours straight, I was the dick guy, to where I had to like pour these shots for these fucking females that were like the lady who it was like the manager, like the big time manager. Okay, so yeah, so I would pour the liquor on the top of the dick, and this is like almost as big as I am, like 5 foot cock,
Oh,
and it would
okay.
come out the piss hole, and they'd be like, "Do it more, we need more," and I'm like, "Oh my God!" And all these women are just like bending over and putting like their mouth on this cock,
Uh,
and I'm like, okay. And then like the lady who's like the big time manager of all these restaurants, she gets completely shit faced, locks herself in the bathroom, throws up everywhere, pisses everywhere, all over herself. There's like
Oh.
5 women like slamming on the door, like you're not fat, you're not ugly, it's okay.
Oh my God.
And they're all fucking trash. And I guess the dude like tried to go to the restroom. It was like, hey, she's been in there for like an hour. I need to go fucking piss. And it's like, you're a pervert. You're trying to like look at her vagina. Oh my God. And so that dude gets kicked the fuck out.
Oh.
No one could go piss. No one could use the restroom. Everybody's trash. And this lady finally comes out of the bathroom and leaves. And so it's like at the end of the night, nobody knows what's going on. Everyone, and my brother shows up too, the one that gave me this job. And he shows up. He's like, hey man, how's it going? I was like, what the fuck up? What do you mean, how's it going? This is like the craziest fucking night I've been. Everyone's fucking drunk. Everyone's working here getting trashed. There's a big fucking cock. And he's like, yeah, I know. This is like a normal Friday. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm not used to any of this party culture or drinking culture. Like, even the waiting tables, there's like a huge like party culture between people who like wait tables. Like, they get just trashed all the time.
Really?
I'm like, dude, like, is this normal? He's like, yeah, this happens like every Friday. It's like, it's not that big a deal. Just go back to fucking work. And I got there at like 6 o'clock. It is now like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, dude. After being paid $100, everyone finally leaves. The manager comes up to me and goes, hey, all of the money that was made at the bar, like $1,000+ is gone. Okay. Someone stole it. And no one is leaving this place until you give up the money. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, dude, I only got paid $100. Like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I got to go home. It's like I've been here for like 8 hours, dude. 10 hours. He's like, no one's going home. He leaves. He locks us in. And there's like me, the bartender, and the manager. And they're like, yeah, no one's leaving here until we get this money. This is like thousands of dollars that got stolen. And I'm like, dude, I don't steal. Like, what are you talking about? And so it was literally me, just us 3. Cleaning up all the throw up, cleaning up all the fucking trash. The cock is like melting, right? It's like not even a cock anymore. And this dude's like, and it was like 5 hours of cleaning this whole place, getting it all turned up. And I'm like, dude, I got to go home. Like, don't call the cops. I'm like, I don't steal. Like, you could search me or whatever. And the bartender comes up to me. He's like, hey, I sell drugs. I am a drug dealer. I make a lot of money selling drugs to a lot of bad people. And I'm like, he's like, I don't need this fucking money. Do you understand me? The manager knows that. He knows I sell drugs. He knows I'm a drug dealer. I want to go home. If you have the money, I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck? I've been hanging out with this fucking dude all night. He's like this super cool, chill dude. And I'm like, dude, I'm not a drug. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I want to go home. He's like, come take a shot with me. I'm like, what? And so he goes up to the cock, puts his mouth on it. He's like, give me a shot. And so I'm like, oh, dude, okay, whatever. This is like, the sun's coming up. This is like 7 o'clock in the morning the next day. And I'm still at this cock, pouring shots for him, pouring shots for the manager. And I put my fucking mouth on that cock. I don't give a fuck. I'm taking a couple of shots. And then it was literally like 7 o'clock in the morning. The manager's like, hey, I got to get another gig. Like, I'm going to go sleep in my van. And so she leaves. And then at the end of the day, like, they never found the money. They don't know what happened to it. This is like 6 hours of like, $5 shots or whatever it is. So probably like, what would it be? Like $2-3 grand that was stolen. And I was there for like 12 hours straight. And then finally they're like, okay, I guess go home. Like, we're not going to call the cops. We're not going to do anything. Like, the money's fucking lost. I'm like, dude, I just got paid $100 to go through like one of the craziest fucking nights of my life. Like, that almost shit was not worth it.
It almost sounds like it's worth it, though.
I mean, in hindsight, yes, because it was like the dude's like, hey, man, take a couple of pictures of me with this dick. And so he got like on a ladder and like we pretended like this big ice dick was like our dick and shit. And like it kind of got fun at the end of the night where like we got to drink as much as we want. We ate all the leftover food. You know, luckily I didn't have to clean up that much fucking throw up. Like, I don't know who cleaned up all the piss and shit that was in the bathroom from all these females, like
Oh
pissing and
man.
shitting all over themselves.
Oh wow. Yeah,
And yeah, it's
oh
crazy, dude.
man. I have cleaned up a lot of piss and shit and vomit in my life, but to do all my life's excrement and nasty stuff cleaning up in one night, that'd be just something else.
Yeah, and luckily, like, I ended up getting fired from that
Mm.
job because it was really like these managers like just treated you like dog shit. I got a new manager at this Mexican restaurant that I worked at, and she fired half the staff. She got rid of half the cooks, cut your hours real big, and then like a month after I got fired, like the place fucking shut down anyways. So
Mm.
I'm like, good fucking riddance. And like, I waited tables since then, but I haven't waited tables like as a job, like a full-time job since then. And I don't think I'd
Mm.
ever go back. I'm like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, fuck that shit. That's a young person's job.
Exactly.
That's a person that's still building their work experience sort of job. Yeah, but I mean, dude, that's crazy. That's a wild fucking story. I mean, I'm sitting here picturing a crystal clear, you know, ice dick. I can't get the. I just.
It looked like
I
a
can't.
white dude's dick. That's the even worse thing too.
You mean it was like.
It was a cut white person's cock. It wasn't even like it had any personality. I don't know. I'm just being fucking stupid now.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, was it thin and just real plain, no veins?
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know how much detail went into it. They did the balls pretty well too, but yeah,
Did they even have the ingrown hair pimples and stuff from the freshly shaven balls?
no.
Oh
But I
man,
don't
I
know
would have.
how many people's fucking mouth was on that cock at the end of the night talking about fucking coronavirus. But I like after 12 hours, I was like, yeah, fuck it, pull me
Yeah,
a shot. I don't give a shit.
I'll suck some alcohol from the tip of this penis. Um, yikes. Yeah, that definitely. It's funny how like when you talk about poor people binge drinking or poor people like getting super fucked up where they become irresponsible, it's really weird how that's like people look at that with disdain and they act like that's so like trashy, but then rich people fucking do it too. Like they do the same fucking thing, they just do it in a rich setting, and apparently that's okay, or that's I don't know.
And they're in as skimpy clothing. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah.
because you spent like $500 on your hair and like $1,000 on your dress, like by the time you're fucked up, shitting yourself and pissing yourself and like locking yourself in the bathroom, like you look the same as a
You're
trashed up
yeah.
person doing it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and you're just as damaged and you're just as irresponsible. It's just you have the money to get away with it, and you have the class mm, the clout or whatever in your class to for them to turn a blind eye to that sort of behavior and trivialize it as being normal or being okay, as opposed for it being blasé or being a faux pas or whatever the fuck.
And like this fancy place that I worked for, it's like you were expected to be treated like shit. And we had customers come in that were like CEOs of all like the big stores around us. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like all these CEOs like helped our store out by buying from us, but then we
Yeah.
would have to help them out by giving them free shit. Like it was expected, like you had to give away more free food than not. And if you fucked up, they would call your manager. Like the owner of all these stores, they had their cell phone in their pocket. And they would call you and they would tell you by name, like, hey, this cloudy motherfucker fucked up. He didn't put no cheese. He put the wrong cheese on. And they would do like the most silliest, stupid fucking things. And they would complain about it. And then your manager would come in like, hey, this person that you served 2 days ago, I'm like, yeah. Well, they called the fucking owner and they didn't like you. So
Mm.
just a heads up, like you need a, and that was like a normal thing. That was a normal fear. And then one time my manager came up to me. He's like, hey, do you remember those three ladies that sat down like last week? I'm like, what? Like,
Mm-hmm.
no. Okay, well, they know your name and they called two owners. I'm like, oh shit. And he looked at me. He said, you did a really good job.
Mm.
I'm like, what? He's like, what did you do? I'm like,
I suck the toes.
What do you mean? Those 3 old ladies are the biggest bitches that will call any manager and complain on everybody. But they said you did a good job. What did you do? I'm like, and I felt like I was in trouble. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I told him my name. Like, I offered if they wanted an appetizer. I don't know what I did. And he was like grilling me for like 5 minutes, trying to like get it out of me. Like, I don't know, like if I sucked their dick or something, you know?
Yikes.
But yeah, that's I could never go back to that type of environment and culture to where it's like you're worthless and you have to like fucking suck on people's toes, like you said. Although like go to your fucking owner and get you fired. Which is basically what ended up happening. Someone called on me and I got fired.
Yeah, that's really, really shitty. It's amazing how like the entry level, no job requirement, early person, like young person jobs are pay the least, but you have to put up with the most bullshit because you don't have any other marketable skills at that age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just funny. All the customer service jobs, it's like all those like working at fast food or working at the whatever place. It's like all those jobs are you get paid the least and you get shit on the most.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, I don't know. I guess just because you spend like $500 on a steak, don't mean you could like treat someone like shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I try to treat people with respect. I agree, but maybe that's because I'm poor and I'm not rich. Yeah, it's bizarre. The American capitalist system is not perfect. I agree.
Exactly.
So, since you just revealed to me that you're a socialist, communist, fascist person, how do you feel about that?
I feel that the gulag is not that bad. Like, I'd rather go to a gulag than that fucking restaurant again or that party.
Yeah. I'd rather go to the gulag instead of spend time with my family or something. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm delirious. I think I need another cup of coffee.
Same.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey man, I think this about wraps it up.
Awesome.
I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join me today and us have this extra long, extra delicious conversation on my podcast about COVID-19 and rich people and video games and music. Cloudy, you got anything you want to say to everybody?
No, man. Thanks, dude. This is fun. I enjoy these. Let's keep them coming.
Yeah, it's super great. And I'll be on your podcast sometime in the near future. I would imagine.
Sure. I'll check the channel out.
Check the channel. Links down below for Cloudy Emerald, and his YouTube channel. And I don't know. I guess that's about it, right?
That's about it. My family was screaming in the background, so it's perfect time.
Yeah. We gotta jump up and go run some errands, and I gotta get my donkey's hooves trimmed. That's not a euphemism. That's an actual donkey with actual hooves and an actual trimming. So. Yeah, man. So appreciate you stopping by. Thank you very much for the good conversation. I'll try to get this exported and finished and wrapped up in the near future. I'm Protodead. If you liked it, like the video, or like the whatever. If we're on the other podcast stations like Spotify or whatever, like it if you liked it. Subscribe for future content like this. And tell me in the comments down below what music you like or hate, or what movies or video games you're into right now. Let's start a discussion down there. I'd love to see you down there. I respond to every comment that I get. So this is Protodead saying, hey, gonna catch you on the flip-flop.